Hello and
Hey!
welcome to Up at Noon live at 5 p.m. Pacific time during a quarantine where things are weird. Let's get a little crazy. How you doing, Max?
I'm doing okay. I'm happy we're doing this stupid show again. Uh,
Me
I,
too.
I, I, I still think the title is really funny. Like the more I
There's-
think about it, the dumber it is.
it's
Up at
incredibly
noon
stupid.
at 5. It's like
Live.
just really sleeping in. Like your circadian rhythms are just completely out the window. Quarantine stuff has made you go fully mad. So just screw it.
Yeah, everything's a wreck, but let's have fun. I'm Brian Altano. That's Max Scoville. This is a Stella Artois. And Max, what are you drinking today?
uh, so we're trying to limit, how often we go to the store. So I have resorted to absinthe because it's either that or red wine. And I don't want to open a bottle of red wine. It's still light out and it's summer. It's spring. That's the red wine is not a good springtime drink. So instead I have absinthe. The worst the worst thing.
Where did you get that from?
I legitimately do not know. There's probably a quarter-inch thick of dust on top of it. I think I got it from I don't like some sort of Harry Potter type place. Just
It looks like a monkey's urine from the zoo.
yeah, I like how the weird thing about absinthe, if you never had it, is it tastes like black licorice jelly beans, and but it turns a milky clear. It's horrible.
That's the worst jelly bean.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't. This is I wanted to have a nice drink with my good buddy at 5 p.m. on a Friday, and lo and behold, I'm having the this thing that Samuel Coleridge would drink between opium binges or whatever.
Max, you know why I respect you? Because I haven't seen you in like a month, and I'm looking at you through a computer screen. So you could have been like, "Oh, this is the most expensive vodka in the world." You could have made up a lie. You could have.
Yeah, now that I
Been
think
like,
about it, I probably would have succeeded in so many other areas if I'd had enough common sense to lie more often.
well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Up at Noon at 5, Happy Hour Live is the weekly comedy variety show here to close out the week at IGN and maybe your week or kick off your weekend. I know things are about to get crazy this weekend. You probably got crazy plans like go in one of the other rooms that you have been in less than the one you're in now, or stay more in the one that you're in already.
Yeah, I've been trying out this new thing where I just sleep in different parts of the floor, to really shake it up. Just try to really get experimental and weird, just go on the bathroom floor, sleep in there, go in front of the kitchen sink, lie down, put blankets on the floor.
If you go in the bathroom, you look in the mirror, you can see the time slow down. That's a good trick.
Yeah, I mean, if you go in the bathroom and turn the lights off and say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror, well, you killed like 30 seconds there. That's passing the time right away.
Yeah, and you say Candyman a bunch of stuff, you can kill even more than 30
Yeah,
seconds.
you go in the bathroom and say Candyman a bunch, and that movie is still delayed. So sorry.
Anyway, speaking of killing time, I've been killing time in a game called Animal Crossing. Specifically, I've been time traveling, and people get very, very angry when I tell them that. Animal Crossing New Horizons has been out for about 2 weeks now. Things seem to be going pretty well for a while. Then the rabbit appeared, who we don't like, but I'm not going to dunk on that dude too much because I want him dead, but it's going to happen no matter what. Animal Crossing is a game where you sort of, at a laid back, sort of chilled out pace, build out your town and collect things and sell things and fish in the rivers and stuff like that. For me, that's always been a really cathartic thing, and I really enjoy it. But I've also always enjoyed a weird element of the game, which has been prevalent since the GameCube version, at least for me. Which is going into the system settings, changing the clock, and tricking everyone in the game into thinking it's a different day, a month, or even year or decade than it actually is in the game. The game is based on the real life calendar, the hemisphere that you live in. It doesn't exactly correlate with the weather patterns happening outside because that'd be a little too much. But there is a lot of interesting stuff that happens when you play on specific days. For example, when you would play on Halloween back in the day, there would be a bunch of Halloween items. The difference now is that all of those events are tied to an online infrastructure, which means that they haven't actually gone live in there yet. So if you were to time travel to, say, October 31st, 2020, it would be a pretty normal day, all things considered.
There would just be different fish, right? Like they'd be.
Yeah, exactly. So that said, the benefit to time traveling in the game is pretty significant because it speeds up some of the sort of like more mundane elements, such as planting a tree. usually takes about 3 or 4 days to grow and bear fruit, which you could then sell for money. And so if you're trying to build out a whole orchard, that could take you quite a while to do. So I go into the system settings and I change the clock by a day or two, or a day or three, a day or four, or when a character's like, I gotta build this like new store, but it won't be ready till tomorrow. I go, oh, all right, bye. This is good to see you. And I leave. And then I go into the system settings. I change it to tomorrow, and I come back, and he's like, the grand opening is here. Do you want to have a party? And I'm like, no.
Are there any other little tricks to it than that, or is it literally as simple as just changing the clock?
That's it. It's simply just changing the clock.
You're just gaslighting these poor animals and like just to cheat in the game.
You simply you save the game that you're playing, you exit, you close the game out, you go into system settings, change the clock, and open the game back up, and it's the next day.
Have you always done this in Animal Crossing? Always? Okay. Always. I'm actually really surprised by this, because I don't want to say I've like lost respect for you, but it was a shock. It was a kind of, because you also got the game early. You got the game early. And then I got the game the normal day, and then you came into my town, and I was like, oh yeah, Brian got a cool head start, and you had all this great stuff, and I was like, wow, he sure has been playing a whole bunch. And I knew that time travel was a thing, but I'd seen you like roll your eyes at people who said they did it, and been sort of like, that's not the point. You're supposed to enjoy your time with Animal Crossing.
I would never ever do that.
Okay, well, I apparently just completely misread you, so I don't know. But then you came over and you gave me all this stuff, and you made me an unwitting accomplice to receiving. It's not stolen goods, but it's like, stolen time goods. You involved me in an accessory to time theft.
Time banditry, actually.
You're a time bandit.
I am a time bandit. And here's the thing. When I tell people this on various shows and in comment sections and on social media, some people get very, very angry at me because they say it's cheating. They say I'm ruining the game. They say that I'm gonna speed run it and make it so that it's not fun. And the whole point of the game is to play at your own pace. No. You go to hell. That's what I say. Time traveling is fun. It's legal. It's encouraged. It's if it was so bad, they would have patched it out. It's there specifically because it's fun to experiment with. And also, this is not an esport. This is not something that you can win at. Can you be better at it than other people? Yes. But I would like to say that through the sheer power of creativity and willpower, I would have accomplished that. And cheating, I would have accomplished that even without time travel. And so, no, time traveling is not cheating. And yes, I would like to say that if you have been a time traveler, or you have received the fruits of the labor of time banditry, you are also an accomplice. And thus, by that logic, you are a cheater as well.
Now, there's another angle here. I saw Janet Garcia, who works at IGN, who's been very busy on the guides, mining all those eggs and making baskets and whatnot. She tweeted out a little thing about how, people who roll their eyes at time travel and say that that's cheating are the same ones who will also use a third party, non-condoned by Nintendo QR code generator to make custom items in the game by uploading JPEGs and converting them to QR, which I totally do. Like I like that. It's fun. It's fun to make shirts that way.
You know what else they'll do? They'll ask their friends how much are turnips in your town, and they'll go to their friend's town and sell all their turnips, which is insider trading.
That's insider trading. That is absolutely insider trading.
That's the kind of stuff that got Martha Stewart in jail, and a lot of people who currently run the country not in jail. And so if you think about it, it's actually all cheating by those definitions, or you can just say that none of it's cheating because all of it's legal and all of it's part of the way you play the game, and thus all encouraged. And so I implore you in the comments to let us know how you feel about this. Personally, I do not think that time traveling is cheating at all. And I actually don't think I'm ruining the game for myself, because I played this game for like 150 hours already. I played the GameCube one for like 400 hours. Like, time traveling doesn't make me want to play the game less. It makes me want to play the game more. And it's not impacting anybody else but myself.
Can you time travel into the distant future when Zipper has died of old age?
You can time travel until April 13th, when Zipper is no longer there. He's just gone.
But he's not so much one man. He's really the idea. He's like Batman. Someone else will wear that costume next year.
That's actually a really good theory. My theory about Zipper is that it's Tom Nook, and I did some investigating on this, and I figured out that in the back of resident services, where Tom Nook and Isabel do exercise stuff, and also do stuff for the town. There's a door. There's a back door in the back of that building, but it doesn't go anywhere because none of the places in Animal Crossing have back doors. You can't actually see the back door, the back of any house in Animal Crossing.
It's a fire. It's probably a fire escape.
I think it's a costume escape.
It could be like a fire escape or a broom closet. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't know, man.
I know. I think that Tom Nook goes back there, and then he gets into the nude and behind resident services. Well, this is why Isabel drinks. If you look at her in the morning, she has a cocktail. Goes behind resident services. He puts on the bunny rabbit skin suit, and then he goes out into the field and he shakes and yells at you. And I don't know if you notice another thing. When you talk to that bunny in the game, he's very excited to talk to you. And he also says, "Don't ask me about who's in the costume" and stuff like that. And then he kind of just like, you walk away and he just kind of slumps over because he doesn't want to keep it up. Because it's a ruse. It's a lie. He's not actually a rabbit man. It's Tom Nook.
I'm all right. I mean, I guess, Do you think he lays the eggs himself or that he gets them from some kind of a bird or something?
Everybody knows that raccoons lay eggs.
All right. So you've been very busy with Animal Crossing. I got myself involved with a different type of raccoon adventure, which is a raccoon city adventure. Man, this really is like the month of raccoon cities. There's Animal Crossing, and then there's the one from Resident Evil, which really I don't understand why there are no raccoons in those games. It's completely weird. They have like raccoon milk in the fridge, but
before we move on, I just want to give us a small round of applause for two just astonishingly A+ back-to-back segues from story to story.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that was an esport. Just segues, just being like, all right, let's get from point A to point B.
If it is, we might lose. We might lose on the next one, but keep going.
All right. So anyway, Resident Evil 3 remake, a loving remaster rebuild of the game that came out like 20 years ago or whatever, that has, it has Jill Valentine scampering about through the streets of Raccoon City, pursued by an unstoppable menace known as the Nemesis, who is really extremely frightening. He has a similar role to the one that Mr. X had in Resident Evil 2, but Mr. X was kind of hokey. He was this guy in like an overcoat and a hat who would just like fumble around and like not go through doors. Nemesis is like just kicks that in the ass and pumps it up to 11. Like he is a like just a terrifying force of nature. He'll like scream at you. He's got like tentacles. And he does a bunch of evil, scary stuff, and it's the whole time. It's like it's very threatening. He's always chasing you, and he's trying to track Jill Valentine down. And when he gets to her, he usually just punches her in the face, kind of like Mr. X did, which always just really, really odd to me. But something kind of occurred to me, which is that Nemesis is really like he's very threatening, but when you sort of look at what he's doing, he's kind of a Wile E. Coyote. Like he's kind of a slapstick situation going.
Yeah,
he's like obsessively chasing after these members of STARS. He's presumably like I don't know, maybe working for the evil Umbrella Corporation or what have you. But he's this hulking giant. But at the same time, he keeps like trying new gimmickry. Like he'll just like which I don't. That's the thing that totally broke it for me, because like when he's this like Mr. X is very scary because he's just this nonsense man in an overcoat with a little fedora on. Like, hello everybody, it's me. He looks like a I don't know, like he looks like the guy in the neighborhood watch sign. Like he's obvious. He looks like the incognito icon in Google Chrome. Like he's just like cartoonishly suspicious. And then Nemesis comes out and he's like aggressive and try hard and he's trying to be a badass. But then if you take a step back, he comes out and he'll just like jump out and he'll have like a rocket launcher and he'll just like shoot rockets everywhere. Like, pew, 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 and Jill Valentine will be like, wow, 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 dodge around and everything. And it's all so exciting. But then if you're like, where did he get that? Where did he go? Like, that? He's like an 8-foot tall man with like tentacles coming out of his face and just like, and like no lips and giant teeth. And he's just like, what did he, like, did he go to a store? Did he get like an Acme catalog? Like, what did he do? Where did that come from?
That's a really good question. He does have that sort of like that. There's that like there's a large chunk of Wile E. Coyote's brain that's missing. That doesn't know how to stop. It doesn't know when to give up. And I think Nemesis has that same thing, which is sort of like no matter what, no matter how many cliffs he runs off and looks down and
Yeah,
and falls. Like spoilers. Like obviously like this is a remake of an old game. Like the good guys get away. I don't think there's no doubt about that. And so like it's really all for naught. But where does he get these wonderful toys? Where is he getting all these devastating
well,
weapons and
the thing
idiotic tools?
that's also really funny to me is that he'll like, and this isn't spoilers. This is like, I mean, if it's spoilers, then don't click on things on the internet that say the name of a video game you haven't played yet. That's been out for 20 years. Just an idea. But he pops up with like he's got like a cool rocket launcher. He's shooting rockets everywhere, and then I don't know, you kick his ass and he goes away. And then I don't know, does he go like, well, the rocket launcher didn't work, back to the drawing board, like let me go and see what else I have. Like what is his, I guess like it's so scary when you look at him at face value because he's this like unstoppable killing thing, but whenever he's not there, it's like, well, where is he? Is he hiding? Like, what does he do? Like, he's rooting around back behind the buildings doing something or other. But he's like, and then at the end of the day, like the whole thing is like, if he comes up and this is a video game, so like if he comes up and he punches you in the head, it's game over. You died. That's it. Jill Valentine is no more. But let's just say that like his story continued. What purpose would he serve? Like, is he done? Does he get to go home? Like, does he? Like, he's an abomination. He's a nightmare monster man. So like. Does he have like a little house somewhere? Does like somebody come and like get him with a truck? Like, do they like shoot him with tranquilizer darts and be like, all right, get back in your cage, you monster? Like,
yeah, he can't just like go to the bank and take out a loan or something like that, or like rent an apartment. And I mean, like, does he? That's it. Like when I was a kid watching Looney Tunes, I was always like, why Coyote? Why don't you just order Chinese food? Like, why don't you just eat something else? Like, eat some. I don't know. I mean, maybe that thing leads. Does Roadrunner lay eggs? Like, take one of the eggs.
I don't know actually don't know. Does Roadrunner lay eggs?
He's a bird, right?
Yeah. Is it a man or a woman bird?
It's fake.
That's the answer to all this. It's all fake, but I don't know.
It's a really good question. Yeah. Like, does Nemesis, like, in between hunting down stars, does he like go into the back of an old restaurant, eat an old burger?
It's just like I was thought about this, but like this thing that totally, you can take the most villainous character, the most terrifying thing, and then if you picture them brushing their teeth, it just breaks it. Like, picture like the most scary monster or the worst villain, picture like Mads Mikkelsen from Casino Royale, and then imagine him just like, brushing his teeth, just like standing in front of the mirror like that. Now picture like the Predator doing that. And like Nemesis would be like, he'd be like,
well, because
he's got like real big teeth. Yeah.
So it's just like, I bet you he either doesn't have to brush his teeth a lot, or he has to brush them more than anybody on Earth because they're just exposed all day. He probably has all sorts of wasps and various ants and such, and airborne insectry just flying into his mouth at any given time.
Yeah.
Leaves, all sorts of gusts of wind.
Yeah.
Just going in, dirt from the street.
I don't know. That's the thing that I do really love about Resident Evil 3 Remake specifically, is that like, it's definitely like a massive complete overhaul of this old game from 2000, but at the same time they managed to make a lot of it really, really realistic, and all the parts that aren't realistic stick out and they're just very silly and weird, and I kind of adore that. Like, it's I don't know, it's like it's like when you see those sketches on YouTube where it's like human people behaving like Skyrim NPCs.
Yeah,
it's just like very, I don't know, but to be like, you to have like a boss fight where it's still like the answer is like shoot the red part. It's like, okay, that's you got
the great fat boy on Twitch, amazing username by the way, says, does a Nemesis lay eggs? Do you think he lays eggs?
I think he almost definitely lays eggs or has some kind of spores. Oh yeah, no, he totally, yeah.
I bet you he lays some big truck stop heaters in the Star's bathroom to get revenge on those boys. Do you think he does a big dunk?
Just him in the. I feel like he would break the like two of the walls off the stall. Like he would just go in there and be like stars, and they just.
It'd be like in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex eats the lawyer, but instead he would rip off the bathroom walls and then just sit down and poo.
No, the thing about Resident Evil 3, and this is not a spoiler, but there is 100% a there's a diarrhea waterfall in that game. There is a part where you just find like a big old doo doo waterfall, and it's so nasty. It's so gross, and I had a good time with that game.
That is truly terrible. Mojo What in Twitch chat says, I want a new costume for him where he has grills. I actually really like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's terrifying. Make him look like Riff Raff. That sounds great. That's like the kind of thing that wouldn't even surprise me if Capcom pulled that, because you see people modding it and they're like, "Hey, great news, everyone! Here's Mr. X, but he's only wearing an Umbrella Corp thong." You're like, "Oh, that's awful."
So Resident Evil 3, the demo on PC had something like 100 different mods before the retail game was out. Like the demo, people just changing all sorts of stuff in it. So I could totally see the girls thing being a thing. Bruce Wayne Brady on Twitch says, is Nemesis just a weaponized Kool-Aid man?
Yeah. No, he totally is.
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna put that on like threadless tees or like Woot shirts or whatever.
Snorg.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's tees here.
I don't know. I love that like a juice company managed to make it so that you can't have anything blowing through a wall without like name dropping their juice brand. Like that's
one of the last like sort of like normal days we had in the world a few weeks ago. There was a meme going around on the internet of like, is Kool-Aid Man the vase or the Kool-Aid?
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. I hate that a lot. So like one of it is just like this hollow glass with eyes on it, and the other is just like blood that flies.
Man, that's awful to think about. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to change the subject.
Okay, let's move on. Can you do this though? Can you do this segue? There's something here. I can do this segue.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I can do this segue.
All right.
Well, whether or not we know if the Kool-Aid Man is in a giant glass bowl, we do know that a lot of big fish do live in glass bowls, and one of the biggest fish of all is Admiral Ackbar from Star Wars. And this week, we got to look at his brand new toy.
There it is. That's how you segue that one. That's a long walk, but fish don't have legs, so who's to say? Anyway,
I think we're disqualified in the esports now.
Yeah, we've been benched. So anyway,
hold on. Sexy Ferret on Twitch says, "Boo,
boo this man." All right. So anyway, Hasbro sent out some photos of new Star Wars figures that are coming out. I don't know when they were planning on releasing these, or if they just sort of were like, "Hey, great news, everyone! Here they are," and it's just sort of like, okay, well. Cool. I don't know when anyone's going to get down to the toy store to buy toys. It's like I don't know, but it's fun to think about new Star Wars toys and whatnot. And so I wanted to take a look at a few of the sort of Black Series figures. Hold on a second.
While you're setting up, I just want to say it's really funny to me. So hold on, Max. It's very funny to me to think about the idea that somebody would go down to the store for like essentials, like and be like, "Oh, what did you get?" "Oh, I got some chicken and I got some bread and I got a 6-inch Admiral Ackbar action figure."
That's like so you know that scene in Dumb and Dumber where it's like, "Oh no, we only have like $17 left. We only need the essentials." Then it cuts to him and he's got like 4 cases of beer and like a novelty cowboy hat and like a bunch of porno magazines. Let's be honest, that's us, we do that. Like that's totally like I've like absolutely done that thing where I'm like, things are really busy. I need to order groceries from the app. It's like
why are we showing footage of the Ewok movies? This is the best.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the Ewoks in a second. So anyway, let's talk about these toys. Okay, so here's the Mandalorian figure that got released a while back. This one has been out for a while. It's probably hard to find.
Dengar right here.
Yeah. So it's the Black Series. They make these nice 6-inch figures. The problem with the Mandalorian figures is that we all were like, "Oh, that's what he's going to look like." And then spoilers, he gets like a new suit basically immediately. So Hasbro finally revealed what the Beskar version of the Mando looks like, and he's got some shiny new studs and some new pads, and it looks like compared to this figure, this is like mostly, it's like a lot of the same pieces, a lot of the same bits and pieces there. Yeah. Which I'm okay with, but he's also got, let's take a look here. Can I move these? There we go. So he's got his Same rifle. He's got some more armor and stuff. But they did give him a jetpack, which is nice because you got to fly when you got the thing. Anyway, that's a cool figure. I don't know. I told myself like I have a massive Boba Fett collection. I told myself I wouldn't start collecting Mandalorians. So like, maybe, who knows? I don't know. But anyway,
you probably also told yourself you'd never drink absinthe again. But here we are.
Times are changing, man. Things get different sometimes. But what we really want to talk about is this Admiral Akbar figure, because I feel like he really just looks like we all feel. Look at him. Look at this man.
Oh God.
Look at that.
Okay, hold on. Go back to that other one. It really looks like he's telling someone that he just crapped his pants.
Yeah, that's an uh-oh face right there. But I honestly I feel like that's so like this is a man famous for saying it's a trap and then just like panicking, and I feel like we are all feeling somewhat trapped. This is the quarantine. We're all stuck here and just like, and then I don't know. Look at that.
Hold on, can you do this? You do the sideways one.
Okay.
I'll do this one.
Is it working? Did that work?
It's one of the worst things we've
Yeah. So anyway, what I really want to talk about though, and we've been this is I don't know, this is a slow news show. We're not here to talk about the hard hitting stuff. We talked about Nemesis, we talked about Animal Crossing, and we're going to talk about some incredibly specific stuff that no one cares about but us. Specifically, the Ewoks. And that's why we're showing the Ewok footage. So the Star Wars Black Series has been basically kind of slowly going through and trying to make an action figure in the 6-inch scale of more or less every Star Wars character out there, but inexplicably, they haven't made Wicket, right?
No.
They haven't made like the main Ewok.
No, this is their first Ewok in this scale.
Their first Ewok it's Tebow. This is Tebow. I don't even know why they decided to go with this one.
No, I think they announced that they're doing a Figure Arts Wicket, and they did a Hot Toys sideshow one. We haven't seen a 6-inch, and we've seen a million 4-inch scale ones. Like you and I both have that action figure Star Wars book, and when you get to the Ewok section, because it's alphabetical, it's like 11 pages. It's insane. Yeah, they made a lot of Ewoks because they had a whole cartoon show that everyone forgot about. They had 2 movies. They had 2 Star Wars stories. So anyway, why Tebow? I do not get it. I'm completely baffled by this. If you're going to make an Ewok action figure in this series, which is supposed to be sort of like the greatest hits of Star Wars characters, presumably, I think. I don't know. And they're just like, let's do Tebow. You could do also, there's so many you could do. You could do Wicket because everyone knows Wicket. He's a very popular Ewok. This is one, you could do Paplu, who's the one who steals the speeder bike, which they make a Black Series speeder bike. So you could have this little Ewok hang on the back being like, like he stole the bike. You could do Chief Chirpa because he's an unsightly nightmare man. He's horrible to look at. He's got that awful hat made out of bird skull. He's the sort of spectrum of adorable Ewok to hideous ones it happens very quickly. And like Tebow is just such like a weird middle ground. He just looks like a bear dressed up like an orc. He's also his hat is a pig. I just noticed that. That's awful. I think that Tebow is like sort of the uncivilized one in your crew, who's just kind of like wearing like jeans with like ketchup stains on them and stuff like that. Who are the Tebow fans who made this happen? Who are the I think like Wicket comes out to hang out with Tebow and he's like, "Hey, we don't have to wear animal skulls anymore. We're better than that. Like there's a store in that treehouse right over there. You can buy. There's like a Gap. You can go buy a shirt. Like you can get a hat. Yeah. Like I hung out with human women today. Like, they gave me a Luna bar. It's fine. Yeah, one of them gave me an RX bar. Like you don't have to wear the skull of a pig anymore. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk about the Ewok action figures that they're not making, and I'm cross about it. But what are you gonna do? While we're on the subject, I do want to say many of you have had trouble buying toilet paper in the last few weeks, and my hearts go out to you because I know how difficult that is. Apparently, a lot of that is because people did 40% of their toilet paper stuff at work, and removing that, now they're doing it at home. So there's a lot of factors there, but there was actually, I was watching MSNBC earlier, and they announced that one of the big reasons that there's been a massive toilet paper shortage is Dengar. Because of Dengar. It's Dengar, and he's taken all the toilet paper from the store and he's put it all over his head and he puts it on his ass. Look how much toilet paper this man uses. Look at all that. He puts it on his legs.
I honestly, man,
put it on his feet.
I think the hardest part about this whole quarantine for me is that when things were normal, I would just dress up like Dengar for fun, and that's become like a luxury. That's become like the fanciest thing you can do.
Yeah, I think Mark Zuckerberg is the only person on earth that can dress up as Dengar now because of the...
I hate it. All right. So enough talking about toys of the Star Wars variety. It's time to talk about some Lego Pirates. We were going to talk about this last week, but we got distracted by cakes or something, and so we decided to...
That was a very weak transition, and you know it. That was bad.
All right, well, you would do it.
Let's see.
Go on, do it. It's not so easy, is it?
No, I mean, there's a connected. There's the Lego, the Space Pirates, Han Solo, and then the Lego Pirates, the Lego Star Wars. You're right. Yours is better.
All right. So anyway, you just completely ruined my rhythm there. You just completely messed it up. I want to talk about this. We got this incredible look at this Lego Ideas pirate ship. It is called Pirates of Barracuda Bay. Lego has this thing that's like Kickstarter, which I love. It's like Kickstarter, but you don't have to pay for anything. It's just like basically people voting on what they want to see made into a Lego set. And this one is it broke the record for the fastest one of these to get like completely backed. It got 10,000 supporters on the Ideas website in 25 days. So basically everybody was like, hell yes, I want this awesome pirate set. It's coming out very shortly. It's coming out, I think it came out actually 2 days ago. It is 2,545 pieces, and I just adore it for a number of reasons. Because for starters, it's pirates. It's got Jose's bar. It's got like a bunch of like drunk pirates hanging out. So good. Swords and stuff. They got knives, machetes. They got these like all these animals here. They got like a skeleton with a hat. They got a toad, a pig. They got all this nonsense happening. But oh, look at that! Somebody put a baguette in the barrel. That's weird. But anyway, the thing that's really cool about it is that you can build this whole like nightmare scenario, this like rickety shanty town or whatever, or you can build this ship, which if you grew up in the 90s might look kind of familiar, and that's because it is the classic like Red Barracuda runner or something, Redbeard's runner. I forget what it's called, but it's basically like it was the pirate ship that I didn't know anybody who had this because it was for rich kids. Yeah, I didn't know anyone either. I also I wasn't always the biggest fan of like pirate ships in Lego form because you couldn't put them in water. Like I think it makes more sense to have like an island or something like that, or like a car. Like that made sense on my carpet, whereas a boat, didn't make as much sense. They had that whole line of floating Lego boats. Do you remember that? But they were all like modern boats because I don't think like the hull of the pirate ships was like really compatible with what I don't know. Like they were just like, no, we're not gonna do pirates for the bath, but you can take this like this like Coke yacht in the bath. Like I had a little cabin cruiser, like a little Don Johnson type like cigarette boat type thing that was just it floated. I think I took it in the bath once and half the stickers came off, and I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I was gonna play with this on the carpet. Yeah, I figured I was looking at this. I just got very excited because I'm a cartoon simpleton of a man, and I went in my weird closet full of old toys and things, and I dug out a bunch of some of my favorite old Lego pirate sets, which I have right here. Let me see if I can shuffle this around. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So let me get some light on. See these guys okay?
That shark to me is like one of the most iconic Lego pieces of all time.
It's such a good piece. Look at that goofy ass shark. You can always like
so good because he just
rip his face off and he looks really scary. So yeah, these are just like I think these aren't my original childhood Lego sets, but I think I had this one for sure as a kid. But a couple of years back, I think this is something that's way too expensive now. But I was like, I'm gonna go on eBay and buy some old Lego sets that I either always wanted or always loved as a kid. And it's cool because usually it shows up in like a the pieces are kind of faded and comes up in like a freezer bag or whatever. But yeah, they had all the instructions and everything. There's a whole great scene of people who are just like basically I don't even call it, I guess, curating like classic Legos, So they'd be like,
Yeah.
sorry, classic Lego. But like basically you can get PDFs of all the old instructions, uh, and then you can track down the original pieces or like basically placeholder pieces. So it's kind of a nice setup. But anyway, I just want to show off my Legos. Lego, sorry, there are
I
two
really,
Legos.
really
There's
love
one
those.
Lego, two Lego.
I
Oh,
like
look
how
who's
they did the
here.
trees.
The trees are great. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Remember him?
And the jail. Oh, the spaceman. What is he doing there?
Yeah.
Get out of here, spaceman.
I want to build my Spaceman Lego sets later. They're great.
I
Yeah, the
really,
trees are just, I don't know. I always loved I love that era when Lego was basically doing like generic, kind of really, really boilerplate, types of toys where it was like knight, pirate. And then they were like ninja and they were like Ninjago. And it's like, oh, you made Bionicles and you made up an entire world of like, and it's, I mean, a lot of people are really into that too, but I love the kind of like totally like you have to use your imagination there.
yeah, I actually I have some good news about toy stuff right now. As you know, most of the Earth is sort of stuck indoors right now. We're all collectively coping with this together, which has kind of been interesting because it's an equalizer, right? It's not really like, oh man, this guy has it great and this guy doesn't, or like I hate that
No,
guy. It's got it
it
better than
really
me.
all sucks,
It all sucks. And so a lot of that's my review of this. But toy sales in the US grew by 26% since March 21st.
Huh.
That's been reported by the MPD, who is a group I'm endlessly fascinated by. They cover video game sales, but they also have an entire toy division. And so I started like kind of reaching out and pulling some numbers from that kind of stuff and seeing what I could find there. And a really cool thing is that like because people are home with families and kids right now, more people are buying board games, more people are buying puzzles, more people are buying toys, action figures, all this fun stuff. And one of the things that's up, which is really weird, is Mad Libs.
Wow.
Yeah. The old thing where you like filled in curse words.
Yeah, I mean, Mad Libs are fun as hell.
Yes, you might as well.
I wonder if that's like if that's parents homeschooling and being like, what's something I could do with my kid that's like vaguely educational that like because you learn about what like an adverb is, like what like a pronoun,
Yeah, and then you say like penis for all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Or poop, or you say Becky from school did a poop on the penis.
My favorite Mad Libs hack. I don't know if that's really a hack, or just not doing exactly what they said. But
Doctors hate it when you do this one.
It always made it like extra funny to me when you would take instead of just being like a noun, you would do like adjective noun. So it would just be like, it'd be like instead of just being like poop, you'd be like horrible, awful poop, and then it just like weirdly over exaggerates parts of it.
I do love that. I'm going to check on the comments. We are live on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube right now. So if you're in there, leave a comment or a question for us while we tee up this next story. I just want to say on a personal level, which I got to a little bit last week, but I am incredibly happy to be making this show again, especially in like a loosey-goosey hour-long format. Also, 5 p.m. on a Friday. You know how a few people that that could tell us that this show's a bad idea are not looking at the computer anymore? That makes
they don't care. They gave us the keys. That's why we're playing with Lego sets from 1991.
The cops are on weekends. No rules anymore.
No rules. The cops are on the weekends. That's right. And I want to give a shout out to Alexio, who is producing the show right now. He is in our ears. You can't see him. I actually haven't seen him in weeks. He doesn't ever turn his camera on, but
we need to get you like a weird little floaty cam or something, like a special head cam to be like, oh, it's me, surprise. I don't know.
Yeah, we can do that.
HJ Definition on Twitch says, what's the best thing you've cooked and the worst? I want to speed run to the worst thing you've cooked. We've both been home. I imagine we've both been cooking a lot more because going out and getting food is kind of a pain now. I got like really drunk the other night and I had like a pound of skirt steak and I put it in a Ziploc bag and I just started dumping ingredients in there like Emerald Lagasse for like a marinade to cook the next day.
Oh no.
And maybe I don't know, got a little cross-eyed and a little heavy-handed on the salt and a bunch of other things. And I went and cooked it the next day. We put it in the air fryer. And I put it down and I started eating it. And it was like literally the most salty thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was like there's nothing you could do to save it. So have you had any food blunders since
I mean,
this all started?
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, I felt like a little bit bad last week because, I showed you a cake on a webcam for your birthday, and I was like, "Look, I made you a cake, and you cannot eat it. It's a video of it." And I was like, "Oh, that's poor Brian." And then after that, we, went upstairs and had dinner, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll cut a slice of this." And um, my wife took one bite, and she was like, "It is the driest thing I've ever eaten that smells damp." It was like the grossest, and also like looking at that in like under normal light, I put like a bunch of food coloring in the batter and stuff, and it looked like when hamburger goes bad. Like it was that purple gray, and I took a bite. It was just like, I think the frosting went bad. Do you ever have like nuts go bad and they start tasting like plastic for the bag they were in?
Yeah.
So apparently frosting can do that too. And frosting already from a can tastes like it's plastic. So that tastes more like plastic, coupled with like stale sponge cake, was just the worst. So that's probably the worst thing I've made so far.
It looked gray on camera when you showed it to me last.
It was
week.
definitely kind of a stunt cake. Like I was trying to make it like a silly cake, but it was really, I was hoping it would be maybe like somewhat salvageable to eat, but it tasted like an actual food item from Bloodborne.
I think that's like it totally served its purpose, because like to me, I got all of the thrill of like getting a cake and blowing out the candles, but none of the pain and disappointment of eating a bad cake. So
yeah, so we did. It's okay.
Mission,
yeah,
good job. Yeah, mission accomplished.
Sweet.
Yeah, Max, I want to let's move on to this Lion King story. Actually,
yeah. Give me a second. Let me pull this up. I gotta fidget around here.
Once again, I want to say thank you to everybody tuning in. This is a weird time for everybody, and we're very happy to be making a Big Dumb Show live from our own domiciles. And so thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday night. And if you want to leave a question or a comment on YouTube, Twitch, or Mixer, do that now, and we will try and get to it today. We'll see. We'll get to it. But in the meantime, we are looking towards pretty much anything we can to make us happy in these trying times. And a lot of you are home streaming Disney movies on Disney Plus, which has been really, really great, especially when you're home with kids. And that's really awesome. But recently, the live action Lion King came to Disney Plus, and you can watch it there. But somebody did something else with the Lion King, which was a different sort of reimagining that I never really thought I'd experience before.
Yeah, so let me pull this up. This is going to be a thing. There's a guy on Instagram. He's an artist named Marco who goes by Masterminds Connect, and he's been doing. Sorry, my computer is very slow. This is bad time for computer time.
I'll help you out. He's been doing some custom drawings of Lion King characters dressed in modern attire, and I would say it borders on sexy.
Yeah, it's weird because it's definitely got some like furry DNA, but it's also sort of just it's not quite. It's like an odd. It's an odd choice.
Yeah.
How do I share my screen with you guys? This is
We're doing our best.
We're figuring it out. Oh no, is this going to be not working?
It might not work. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? I'm going to see if I can help you out.
Can you help me out? Yeah, we're literally, it's not even giving me is that it? It's not even giving me the option to share. There we go. Okay. Better. Here we go.
Here we go. All right.
So this is, here's his version of Scar, who just looks like literally exactly like Idris Elba, I feel like.
Yeah, if he had a full beard.
Yeah, he's got like kind of the Jason Momoa beard tie thing going on there. But let's check this guy's stuff out. He's been doing a ton of stuff. This Timon and Pumbaa's new. We actually were going to talk about this last week, and I think he just dropped this one, which is just like I could kind of see that, I
really like that they're digging. I just want to say Pumbaa in Tim's with the shoelaces out is like one of my favorite things I've ever seen. It's so perfect. It is so perfect. They're like he almost like he's almost got like a bebop thing going on. And now over here we have the hyenas, which now have like basically camo joggers and machine guns.
Yep.
Very, very good.
And is
Who else
that
we
was
got,
that
Max?
is that Nala?
Yeah, Nala looking like a mix between her original self and Babs Bunny.
This is also like I feel like he's digging into like deeper cut like Lion King 1.5 characters, or maybe I'm crazy. Is this
Did you see the
Mufasa?
like the Mufasa as he's leaving the gym?
Oh yeah, here we go.
That's working. That's working for a
Right?
lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Rafiki is just sort of like the elderly gentleman. He's got Chelsea boots on. And he's got this big stick with a little Simba pendant on it.
Yeah, see what I mean? This is like it's definitely got like furry-ish tones to it, but it feels more like it's like I really like the Lion King and I also really like fashion, and here are these things combined, and it's just like I don't know. It's good to see stuff like this. This one's also I guess I have questions here. Vitani voiced by Rihanna. Oh, it's Rihanna. Okay, so this is I think it's an original character. I don't know who's Vitani. I don't know my Lion King lore enough.
I've only seen the first one. Like a good fan.
How many Lion King movies are there? Because there's Lion King 1.5, which is either a half or 1.5. Does that like count as a whole movie with an extra half movie attached to it? And then there's the live action one, which is a remake. So does that count as a whole movie, or like what is it? You know?
Yeah, maybe that one looks great too.
Anyway, we don't have to talk about this anymore. We can change the subject.
Yeah, we can move on. Why don't we move on to something even more sexual?
All right, give me a second to.
Sure. I don't really know how to explain this, but the thing about quarantine is that we're all stuck inside, and you're kind of stuck inside with the people that you started this whole thing with, which is weird because I think a lot of people got kind of thrust into a situation where they're now spending significantly more time with their roommates or their significant others, but a lot of people are spending this time alone. And so a thing we've noticed popping off on the internet is that a lot of people are actually spending so much time indoors that they are starting to develop some sort of mild sexual attraction to their thick ass bonsai trees.
Yeah,
let's take a look.
That's what we're talking about on this show. Again,
yeah.
This is the great thing about making a show at 5 o'clock on a Saturday is there are no cops. But here's this.
Yeah, here are these trees. And if you've ever been to IKEA, they're practically giving these away at the end. I mean the end of IKEA, because like when you get to the very end of IKEA before it turns into like a warehouse, there's a bunch of bonsai trees and a lot of them have like thick booties. And so here's this one. This one definitely has a butt. It's a tree with a butt.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's this one. She's like it's some lady from a K-pop group, I think, but then being like, oh, that's just awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to like body shame a plant, but that's just like there's like something weird about that.
Well, it's the butt looks like big. It almost looks like balls. I don't really know how to get myself out of this.
The butt almost looks like balls. Yeah, but it's a plant, so you can say that, I think.
Yeah, it's weird to.
I got one more on here. This is just thrilling that we're doing this. Oh boy. Okay.
This is scroll. This is
oh like no.
That's sort of like a dad butt. Max, I think that's your
boy.
Butt.
I wish I had a butt like that. That'd be great. Look at that, man. Well, yeah. So yeah, that's our show. That's those stories we have today. Is just
I did want to say if you are stuck at home and you're quarantined, take another look at that bonsai tree you have, because maybe it'll provide a little more company than you thought you had. Maybe you got to look around in the places that you didn't think would be as curvaceous as you thought, such as looking in the bonsai tree.
So what household object do you think is the sexiest amidst quarantine? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have any? Oh, I have a pretty sexy household object right here. This is the Super 7 Cherry.
Oh, you brought that home with you? You sick man.
I just grabbed a bunch of stuff off my desk when I had to build a set. This is Cherry, and she's a talking couch, and she has eyelids, and they open. That's weird, not good. Look what else I have.
Oh, thank you.
Some more sexual stuff we can do here. This is Max Rebo's diaper butt.
Don't show me that. I don't want to see that.
Here's the thing about Max Rebo. We always talk about his legs and his ears and his nose. We don't really talk about what's going on in the back of his neck. Let's take a look at that. Can you see that? It almost looks like another face, like a second face. It's sort of like a reverse dewlap.
It is a reverse dewlap. It's like a skin mullet. I like it. So what have you been doing for fun in the weird times that we're having? Like I don't know. We do fun stuff for work, but I don't actually know what you're doing in your spare time.
It's been pretty cool. I started playing basketball with this team in town. About 20, 30 guys that I've never met in my entire life. We just go and we just touch a bunch of stuff on the court. And then we go out for lunch. We go to buffets that have been open all day. And we eat everything we can. Been going to a lot of concerts, like really high energy concerts where you take off your shirt, you sweat everywhere, and high five everybody that you see. It's been really good.
You joke, but I'm kind of worried that this whole thing is going to hit me harder than I realized, because I was actually just about to open a brand new type of restaurant, which is an all you can eat finger food buffet, where everyone, all the foods are meant to be picked up with your hands. And we call it an open air all you can eat buffet, where instead of just having the sneeze guard like you usually have, I feel like the sneeze guard really it adds a layer of impersonality between you and the hors d'oeuvres. So really we got rid of the sneeze guard too. And there's no glass in any of the windows, so there's always animals coming in and out of the building. It's really a kind of a progressive approach to a buffet.
That's a really good idea. I think another good idea for a restaurant, really thin food, like a sheet of food that can be by a robot's claw slipped directly into the mask. So if you're hungry and you go in there, you get like a big sheet of barbecue chicken, just like a paper thin sheet of hot, dripping wet barbecue chicken, and a robot just drops it right inside of your mask, and that's a good thing to do.
That's a good approach.
WrestleMania is this weekend. How's that going to happen?
How is that? Aren't they doing just like a weird stage play where everyone stands really far apart?
Can you wrestle somebody from 6 feet away?
I mean, you can wrestle them with words, and you can use the strongest muscle of all, which is the brain.
That you could wrestle with emotions.
Yeah, I do that a lot, actually. That's been kind of the most of my exercise lately, is just fighting those feelings.
We got a question, or we got a comment from Lizard Dude in the Twitch chat. He said he just watched the last Star Wars movie. I don't want to dunk on that movie too much, but I will say that I've been a collector of the Star Wars art books and making of books. Max, I know you have too. The art book for The Rise of Skywalker arrived the other day, and it was a combination of like that movie kind of beating all the joy out of me, and also all of the leaks from that book, which is like super weird that there were just like leaks of a book for 5 months coming out, that I have never been less excited for like a piece of mail.
The one thing in that book that totally surprised me was, and I think again it got spoiled by, I think like IO9 posted it or something, but there was originally a plan for a resistance tank that was shaped like BB-8 but was huge. So it was just like a giant ball that had like a little thing on top of it with a gun sticking out, and like dudes are riding inside of it, which is like, I don't understand that at all. I don't really fully grasp why that would be a thing.
Max, I have an album here that I should probably give you one day. It's called The Sounds of Exotic Island by the Surf.
Oh, let me see that. That looks great.
Yeah, this is a very you record right now.
I have a lot of Exotica.
Yeah.
I don't have that one though.
I'm going to read you some of the names here. It's Quiet Village, Bali High, Bamboo, Jungle Romance, Forbidden Island, Midnight in Paradise, and The Fire Gods.
My. I have a comic book you might enjoy. It's an issue of Iron Man, where Iron Man falls down a well that is owned by a big Iron Man fan who then keeps him captive. It's basically like like comic book guy's version of Misery.
Oh, I
So
like
it's
that
just
a lot.
it's a good time. It's a good one. I have another issue of a comic book here. I have a good comic book here. This one is it's an issue of the Fantastic Four from when I think the Fantastic Four was off in the Secret Wars or something. So She-Hulk was a member of the Fantastic Four. This is an issue entirely about a paparazzi man who takes photos of her naked sunbathing and then posts them in a magazine. And so the whole comic is her tracking him down to beat his ass.
Speaking of which, I have some high-end adult smut from 1983. This is the Return of the Jedi official collector's edition. Has some sultry erotic photos in the midst of it, such as this one where lovers embrace for the first time.
Good God. What do I have here? I have 2 issues of X-Men Annual number 8 from 1984. I don't know why I have 2 of them. I think I might actually have 3 of them. I don't know why, and I don't even know what this issue is about. I think they go to Asgard, maybe? I don't know. It's whatever.
I have a poster of every Nintendo Power cover from 1988 to 2012, which is cool because there's a lot of them in there.
That's a good one. I might actually I want to send this to you because you like Silver Surfer. This is a Silver Surfer comic written and drawn by Mobius.
I used to have that.
Yeah?
Yes, I used to have that.
It's gorgeous. I like also it's number 1 in a 2-issue limited series. That's like a really limited series to the point that maybe just make a double-length issue.
I have this is very bizarre, but I have a manga here. Hear me out. About Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening that features the walrus on the back cover.
Look at that.
And he's doing real good.
Look at that little critter.
They actually made like multiple parts to this, and I only have one of them, but I really like the way they draw the windfish because he's like a big chunker. Look at him.
Aw. Well, I have one more thing here, which is sort of I don't want to spoil anything, but this is a little tease of what may be in store for this next week. We have something cool lined up. I think it's not 100% yet, but here's an issue of Spawn number 1. Spawn's a good guy. I actually we just put a bit up on IGN.com. I did sort of like an email interview with Ed Boon from NetherRealm Studios about how Spawn wound up in Mortal Kombat 11, and there's something kind of like weirdly anticlimactic about an email interview because you just like send the questions out and then they come back and then you're like, well, there it is. But if you want to go read that, it's worth checking out. And hopefully we have somebody who can answer some more questions about Spawn in the coming future. Mm-hmm. Who knows? You're going to like this. Hold on. Look at this. Here's an issue of Swamp Thing Annual, which is about a gorilla who's eating people.
Oh, that's very good. I like that a lot. Let's see what other. Oh, this is a good one. I have this Toad figure.
Get that out of here! Throw that in the trash. That's awful.
There's this horrible Toad. And if he's not enough, then I think you guys should check out the sexiest lady of them all. It's the princess.
Oh no!
Look at her.
No. Well, we should probably wrap things up here. I feel like we've had a good time. God, I'm so happy we're doing this stupid show again.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Up at Noon. Thank you so much for watching. Alexio, thank you so much for producing. To the commenters on Twitch, IGN, YouTube, and Mixer, thanks for being there with us. We're going to keep making the show until they stop us.
Yeah,
and they might after we said some of the stuff we said this week.
Yeah, I mean, I drank absinthe and then held up like comic books about nude She-Hulk. Like, I don't know. Like, is that okay? I don't know what the rules are anymore.
I said Becky from school poops on the penis in a Mad Lib.
Yeah, that does sound like a Mad Lib, though. Those are all words. I don't know. I went on Mixer and it said that this was like rated 18 and up, and I was like, hell yeah, we're cam girls now. All right, let's do it.
You got us in a lot of mischief there.
Yeah.
Well, everyone have a great weekend. Max and I put up tons of videos and tons of cool shows this week. So go check out new episodes of Podcast Beyond. Go check out new episodes of Nintendo Voice Chat. Go check out the new episode of The Comedy Button Max and I did this week. And who knows? Maybe we'll bring back some other shows one of these days. Wink, wink. Nod, nod. Nudge, nudge.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, and have a good weekend doing the same stuff in the same rooms, I guess.